The third Sunday came with sunshine. No rain. No gray skies. No dramatic soundtrack from the heavens. Just clear blue stillness. And somehow, that unsettled me more. I sat on the park bench at our usual time, fingers wrapped around a paper cup of coffee I hadn't touched. The air was warmer now, lighter. Children played near the fountain. A couple laughed under a tree. Life was ordinary. But my chest felt tight, because something inside me knew. Today wasn't going to be ordinary. Daniel arrived 10 minutes late. That had never happened before. He walked toward me slower than usual, shoulders tense, jaw tight. There was no gentle half-smile this time. No softness greeting me from a distance. Just heaviness. "You came," he said quietly. Of course I did. He nodded once and sat beside me, but closer this time. Not touching. Just closer. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The silence felt different. Not peaceful. Not thoughtful. Charged. "I need to tell you something," he said finally. And there it was. That sentence. The one that changes everything. I kept my voice steady. "Okay." He ran a hand through his hair, something he only did when he was anxious. I had noticed that about him. "You asked me why I noticed you," he began. "Why I knew your routine. Yes, I didn't tell you the full truth. My heartbeat slowed in that strange way it does before impact." "Then tell me now." He swallowed. "The accident. The one that killed my sister. It wasn't just a random crash. The air shifted." "What do you mean?" "There was another car," he said. "They ran a red light. I swerved. I lost control. I waited. The driver of that car left the scene." My fingers tightened around the coffee cup. "They were never found." I could hear my pulse in my ears now. "Daniel," I whispered carefully. "Why are you telling me this?" His eyes met mine. "Because sometimes the truth doesn't creep in. Sometimes it hits like thunder. It was your car." The world went silent. Not dramatic silent. Real silent. Like when your mind shuts down to protect you from what you just heard. "That's not possible," I said immediately. Too quickly. "I didn't know at first," he continued. "I didn't recognize you. It was dark. It was raining. Rain. Of course it was raining. But months later, I saw your car parked outside that coffee shop. Same dented bumper. Same broken taillight taped at the corner. My breathing became shallow. "I didn't leave the scene," I said, my voice barely audible. "I didn't even know." "I know," he interrupted gently. "That caught me off guard." "You know." "I found the police report again last month," he said. "They ruled it as a hit and run because the second driver never came forward. But the impact was minor on their side. They probably didn't even realize what happened. The storm was heavy. Visibility was low. Memories began clawing their way back. That night, the rain so thick it blurred headlights. The jolt. The moment I thought I hit a pothole. The panic. I had pulled over. But no one was there. No flashing lights. No crash car. Nothing. I thought it was debris," I whispered. "I thought something hit me." Daniel closed his eyes briefly. "I believe you." Tears filled mine. "Then why watch me? Why not confront me?" His answer came broken. "Because I wanted to hate you." That honesty hurt more than accusation. "I tried," he continued. "When I first realized it might have been you, I was furious. I followed you one evening intending to say everything I'm saying now. My stomach dropped. But then it started raining, he said softly. And you weren't running. You were standing there, just like my sister used to. The memory of that first night crashed back into me. The street lamp. The storm. His silence. I didn't plan to talk to you, he admitted. But when you asked if I was okay, something changed. My tears fell freely now. So what is this? I asked, my voice trembling. Revenge? Closure? Some twisted way of forgiving me? No, he said firmly. It's none of that. Then what? He turned fully toward me. It's complicated. A humorless laugh escaped me. That's convenient. I didn't expect to feel anything, he continued. I told myself I was just observing, just confirming, but the more I listened to you, the more I realized you were carrying your own guilt. Even before you knew why, he wasn't wrong. There had always been something about rainy nights that unsettled me, a weight I couldn't explain. I never stopped that night because I thought I hurt someone, I whispered. I stopped because something felt wrong. I sat in my car for 10 minutes shaking. But I didn't see anything. I know. Then why tell me now? Because this, he gestured between us, isn't built on truth. And it deserves to be. That sentence broke me. Because despite everything, he was choosing honesty. I don't know how to carry this, I admitted. The guilt. Your loss. You don't carry it alone, he said. I stared at him. Why are you being kind to me? He took a long breath. Because holding on to anger for a year didn't bring my sister back. But talking to you, sitting with you in the rain, it made me feel alive again. The vulnerability in that confession shattered every defense I had. I didn't know, I said again, uselessly. I know. We sat there, grief mingling with something else neither of us dared to name. Love is strange. It doesn't ask for perfect timing. It doesn't check history before it grows. It just happens, even in wreckage. Do you regret meeting me? I asked finally. He looked at me for a long time. No, he said. Even knowing? Especially knowing. That answer wasn't simple. It wasn't clean. But it was real. What happens now? I whispered. He didn't rush his response. That depends, he said, on whether we let the worst night of our lives define the rest of them. The sun dipped lower, casting gold across the park. The world moved around us, unaware that two people were rewriting their entire understanding of fate. I can't undo what happened, I said. Neither can I, but I can choose what happens next. He nodded slowly. So can I. For the first time since he spoke the truth, the air felt lighter. Not because the pain was gone, but because it was shared. I don't want you in my life because of guilt, he said quietly. I want you in it because when it rains, you don't run. A small, broken laugh escaped me through tears. And when it rains, I replied, you remind me that storms pass. There was no dramatic kiss. No cinematic embrace. Just two people sitting closer than before, hands inches apart, deciding not to let tragedy be the final chapter. The next time it rained, we stood beneath the same street lamp. Not as strangers, not as enemies, but as two imperfect souls who met in the middle of a storm and chose not to drown in it. And sometimes, when the rain falls just right, I think about how strange life is, how it can break you in one moment and offer you healing in another. I met him in the rain, and somehow, We both learned how to forgive the storm.